everybody, and welcome to the Velma Fan Club podcast, the number one biggest fan club of Velma on the internet. I am Simian Jimmy, joined as always by Florian Himsel.
Yeah, I was totally looking forward to this show. There's no way this could ever go wrong. And my expectations were not disappointed.
We've got the Kino Corner.
Hey, yeah, Velma's definitely the best show I've seen in 2023. So it's got that going for it.
And Erich McCoy.
Well, Velma is the only show I've seen in 2023.
The only one. So it's the best one of the year so far.
Yeah, best of the year. Number one, Velma. No other.
You watched Breaking Bad, you liar.
Yeah, that's not a 2023
It's not
show.
a new
that's
show.
Not from this year.
Florian's like,
You said you watched it this year.
Florian's like, guys, have you seen this movie called Jurassic Park? It's the best movie of 2022. I just saw it.
My number one movie for 2023 is Star Wars.
Citizen Kane.
Every year.
But guys, everybody, listen up. We did a thing where we podcasted about every episode of She-Hulk. Everybody loved it. You know, how could it possibly get any worse than that? We wondered. Boys, has it not gotten worse? Is Velma not worse than She-Hulk?
On every level.
I think the only way it's not worse. The only way it's not worse is visually to me. I think the animation here is better than the.
You're talking about the bath scene with all the naked teenagers.
Oh, yeah,
visually,
yeah.
It pleased you.
All of the minors that they have running around talking about sex at all times. Yeah, that's great.
And literally completely naked.
Yeah, and then breaking the fourth wall and talking about other movies.
But they do kind of like the kind of the anime thing where it's like all the bubbles are covering everything, so it's like, all right, you know, they're trying to get the sex appeal, I guess, out of these 16-year-old animated girls, and then also saying like and then having Velma in the like stalking around them is trying to set Velma up as like this creep at the same time.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize we have not even begun to explain what we're reviewing here. Like, if somebody doesn't know what Velma is, how can we possibly explain this to them? Who has a good synopsis for this series?
I have a good synopsis. So Velma is the origin story of the Scooby-Doo of the gang, right? Of the guys who go in the mystery machine and go around solving crimes. Except most origin stories focus on white cishet men, straight men, and it's about how they were rich or they were awesome, and then they just learned how to be even more so. So Velma is taking the better approach, and it's following Velma, who is Indian, as she is solving a crime of who is killing these girls at her high school and taking their brains out. And, you know, along the way, she makes a few mistakes. She might accidentally get some people sent to prison based on false accusations.
And not care about it in one way or the other.
And not care about it one way or the other. So
I really feel like Kino is not driving home how depraved and deplorable the show is. Florian, can you defeat him with a better synopsis that really drives home what this show is?
Okay, I was giving.
He's going on way too fucking long with his Kino tangent. Hashtag Kino tangents in the comment section. Florian, I want to hear you talk about it.
That was like 2 whole minutes and hardly anything. Okay, yeah. so Velma is this traumatized little child where her parents left, and she thinks it's because she solved mysteries.
Her mom left, not her dad.
Fine, yes, her mom.
Dad's just a loser.
Yeah, he's bizarre. And so she's haunted by these really these specters that just I can't do it either. I'm
oh my god, Erich, do I have to do it or can you do it?
Velma is a incredibly sexual, incredibly violent, nothing like the base show that it's trying to origin story, exploration of Velma's beginnings at high school with a lot of celebrity voice actors.
This show is a disgusting, pathetic leech. It's a parasite on the Scooby-Doo IP. You take these like fucking pathetic people like Mindy Kaling or whoever, this bitch from the fucking Office, these people who have had their brains melted by all this woke culture shit to the point where they can't even write a story. Every single line of dialogue is meta self-aware. Oh, I sure do hate white men. You have a small penis, like just non-stop. There's not even a character or a story. It's just the writers have been brainwashed by their Twitter feed, and they think this is what constitutes as meta-narrative and humor. And they're wrong on every single level, and now they're being rewarded for it because this is the most successful cartoon in HBO history. With only 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I want to ask a question, though. I want to ask a question. Like, what other cartoon has premiered on HBO? Like, because most of the cartoons on HBO premiered on TV and then went over to HBO.
It's called Santa Inc. Look it up.
I was going to say that. Is it literally just being compared to Santa Inc.?
Something that no longer exists. Like, literally has been taken down.
He makes a good point. It's very likely it is like one of two. So if it beats Santa Inc., it is number one.
Oh, didn't they just cancel like Infinity Trainer, like some cartoon?
Yeah, but that was Cartoon Network originally.
Oh, that's not an HBO thing.
No.
Well, what about Harley Quinn cartoon? Surely that
Harley Quinn is. That is original to HBO Max. And yes,
I just think that the pool is small of cartoons that premiere on HBO Max. So I don't really.
But still, my point is. Yeah. This is worse than She-Hulk because at least She-Hulk got canceled. It had the decency to recognize how bad it was, and now it's not going to continue. This is doing big numbers. This is a worse program in every way, but it's evidently getting more views. We will probably get a season 2 of Velma, and I'm upset about it because we'll have to podcast about it. That's really why I'm so angry.
How much of it is hate watching? How much are we the problem?
It's all hate watching. If you look at IMDb, they got 2 out of 10. So, like, the general audience does not like it, but I guess they watch it. So.
I don't even think Mindy Kaling likes it. I think she just, like, made it out of some weird fetish.
She loved all those meta jokes. And one of my favorite meta jokes was when Shaggy or Norville, because they decided to not make Shaggy a stoner in this one for some reason.
Not yet. I'm sure he'll get there.
He says
the joke is that Shaggy is now a black guy and that he hates weed, and he's like, "Oh, I hate weed," and he's like winking at the camera. Because when you when you race swap all the characters and Shaggy's black, you might think it's a racial stereotype, like that he's going to be smoking weed all the time. So the epic joke here is that he hates weed.
Shaggy. Yeah, now that you say it like that, I guess you're right. But I was just thinking, he's gonna get really high and then he's gonna become Shaggy. But yeah,
no,
I guess
not a chance.
Racist. Yeah,
I think that. But
maybe they have the balls to do it. That would be great.
They did have the balls to at least buck break him.
They sure did.
That is true.
They had the balls to take his.
But spoiler alert, by the way, Velma and Daphne become lesbians in episode 2.
While Norville watches as he's holding flowers for Velma, after like 2 episodes of Velma just completely berating him for having feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he just kind of going along with it and not getting pissed off and just being like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "I love it when you make me laugh." And all he says like, "I have feelings for you," and she starts laughing at him, and she's like, "Hey, the laughing is helping my hallucinations. Keep making me laugh." And he keeps just confessing his love, and she's just like laughing in his face. And then afterwards, she's like, "I didn't know you were such a funny person."
In some ways, Kino, everything you're describing is kind of revealing that the show might be secretly red-pilled in an extreme way, because I was thinking, I was kind of commending the show in my mind because Velma is the archetype of the incel character, and she is like a virgin with rage, and a lot of rage. But now that I think about it, this show is proving that women literally cannot be incels, because even the biggest incel of all time, Velma, has a best friend who's trying to fuck her the whole show, and she's just rejecting him.
Oh, and then her hot friend who's a girl, Daphne, is like, oh, let's make out at the end.
Yeah,
So,
we can't even get like a real incel woman show. Like every episode, she has to get hit on.
You know, I was talking about Incel Woman show. You know, I watched this movie May last night. That's a real Incel Woman movie. Velma is fake. She's a fake cell.
Fake cell.
Through and through. And no, but one of my favorite jokes was where Norval says, "Do you know what 420 is?" And then she goes, "Yeah, I mean, it stands for adults who still watch cartoons." And then there's a wink to the audience, and I was,
"That's rough."
I just lost my mind. I lost my mind when they said that line because it's like, who is this whole show for then? Like,
and you think like Guillermo del Toro just gave a speech saying animation is an art form for all ages,
and then this comes out as a counterpoint.
Yeah, they're like, well, actually, only stoner adults would watch a cartoon. It's such hatred of art in general.
You're making an adult skewed cartoon show, and then you're skewering the fucking adults who are watching your adult cartoon show. You're like basically telling people not to watch this.
Well, that's exactly what She-Hulk did, though. Like She-Hulk also made fun of its own audience and told them to stop watching. So I think just these woman-run shows are just terrible and hate their audience.
I wonder.
Well, this is actually way closer to The Room. So this is like so bad that people will not be able to look away. So I think they really got something here, don't you think?
I wonder if Velma is going to have a plot line about them trolls.
Oh, probably. She will get trolled on Facebook at some point, and it will be Facebook too.
I really want to see. I really hope that like the bad guy in Velma is one of them dang internet trolls, who is the one who's actually who's also an incel, and that's why he's taking the brains out of these women.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
That's the case.
This hasn't been introduced in any way. No online bullying.
Nothing's been introduced. Nothing has been introduced. That's
Well, we have the brain scooper, and we have the ghost that almost give her a heart attack all the time, and we have the missing mom. I think there's some groundwork here for a decent story to be told.
No, but I mean,
if we're gonna get positive,
like the actual villain. As far as the actual villain. So I don't.
Well, we don't know the actual villain yet, Kino.
Yeah,
we have 6 more episodes.
Like the actual, like what I'm saying as far as nothing's been introduced is like they pretty much have left it of like at the end of episode 2, like it could be anybody, and the actual villain probably hasn't been introduced into the show yet. So I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a different turn and wants to make fun of those incels,
Well, I do think that the arc of the show that they've set up is Velma finding her mom, who has been missing since she was a child. So I think that'll probably tie into it. We also get like false memories where Velma realizes she was like torturing her mother and like literally knocked her eyeball out of her eye socket, and it keeps randomly falling out throughout her life. Like it's really gory and disgusting in the show.
The horror.
Which I kind of appreciated. So maybe the mom is just like coming back to torture Velma and is like killing all these people and framing her. Like it could be that stupid. But anyway, I wanted to talk about things that I liked. And unfortunately, the only 2 things I enjoyed in the episode are just lesser versions of much, much better jokes. One is when Fred is accused of a crime and he's trying to look innocent, but then everything goes wrong, so he looks exactly like Hitler. It's a great joke. I'm glad that they put that in there, but the movie Rat Race did that same joke a million times better. Like they set it up for 20 minutes and it really hits hard.
Glenn Howerton voices Fred in this, and he is really giving his all.
It's rough. I'm ashamed of Dennis for taking this role. The other thing I liked, I guess it's not really a joke, but the animation when it gets spooky is pretty good. Like it's pretty creepy when there's stuff crawling under her skin, and they do the spooky stuff well. I think having a little hand on her shoulder, I think Wednesday already ate that lunch a few weeks ago, so they're a little late to that table, but did you guys like the spooky horror parts of the show?
It's all right.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's not incredible, but
I mean, it was aesthetically kind of pleasing, the spooky horror parts, but I honestly couldn't give 2 shits about what was happening, just because Velma is such an unlikable character.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't have any like sympathy for Velma.
I just thought the animation on the spooky stuff looked cool.
No, sure.
Yeah, that's like the closest I can come to complimenting the show.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really fair? Is she really that much worse than like someone being unlikable like Rick Sanchez? Is he?
I mean, just because Rick Sanchez beats his wife in the year 2020, it doesn't mean he's unlikable.
Well, he's like a complete asshole throughout the entire 6 seasons of the show. So
okay, I will say this though, is I've seen 3 seasons of Rick and Morty. I'm not exactly the biggest Rick and Morty fan, but Rick Sanchez knows that he's an asshole and is totally like not. Like, there's no delusions. He doesn't have any delusions about it, and he embraces the fact that he's like a major asshole. The problem with Velma is that she thinks she's great, and there's
they do lampshade it. They do lampshade it in the show. They like outright say like she is dejected and disconnected from others, and in like having that I don't know, in being that way. She keeps people away by making those comments and by saying those things. But since she's also aware of it, it makes it worse.
Yeah, because then she tries to act morally superior. And then the whole the whole courtroom thing where she goes on and on about how Fred is a little baby and he has a baby penis and all this kind of thing. And it's like, lady, you falsely accused him of being a serial killer when it was so obvious that all he was doing to you in his house was he was creepily walking towards you with a checkbook. You know, and you falsely accuse him, and then it be like, but there's no evidence, you know, like, I mean, I know that this isn't a courtroom show and whatever, but somehow they made it worse than She-Hulk.
Well, I was gonna say, somehow we had the show that was that, and it didn't do that at all, so...
Well, hey, but this is actually explained because the 2 cops are like comedically bad, you know.
The cops are cops. The lesbian cops, and they're also Daphne's parents. And I guess she's adopted because Daphne's Asian, but the cops are black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah, makes sense.
You need to hit all the boxes.
Yeah, but they fuck up everything, so it makes sense that all this would happen.
Was that Wanda Sykes as one of the cops?
I don't think
he would go to trial. I don't think he would go to trial. I think, you know, like, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to be too rational or too logical about this. The 2 cops go into his own house, shoot him in his legs, for just trying to write her a check, and it's so obvious. You see the checkbook next to him. And Velma's like, "Oh, you saved my life." It's
Kino, at this point, you might be thinking too hard about this cartoon. I think you might be thinking harder than the writers did at any point in the entire process.
I think that if anyone's going to be on trial, it's going to be those 2 cops.
Well, maybe that's the commentary from these woke Twitter writers that cops can indiscriminately start shooting people and won't get in trouble, Kino. Maybe check your privilege.
They can start indiscriminately shooting white people like they shot that white guy in the hotel or in the hotel hallway.
Yeah, when he was trying to play Simon Says with him. That was a good video. Hey, let's talk about Fred again, because Fred is like, clearly whoever made this show has it out for white men, like not even like in a joking way. Like they have decided to take Fred, who in this show, he's just like the generic leader of the group, you know, like he doesn't really do anything discriminatory to anybody. He doesn't hurt anybody as far as I know, but they've decided Fred is the ultimate villain and we need to like just completely emasculate him and humiliate him and make sure everybody knows that white men like Fred are pathetic and should be tortured and we shouldn't feel bad for anything that happens to him. What did you guys think of Fred?
Well, he is rich, so in that way, he should be ridiculed and made fun of a lot.
I mean, every character in the show is rich. Like, Velma's dad is a lawyer.
But he's a loser lawyer. And he's especially bad now that he's lost his case.
But they live in a nice house, what can I say? And obviously in a nice town. You know, it would be a nice town except for the whole like brain stealing thing.
I think the show did not really plan ahead when they were writing the script, because at the beginning of episode 1, Velma claims that Fred uses the Mystery Machine van for weird sex shit. But then we find out that Fred is actually like a fake alpha Chad, and he has not gone through puberty, and he like is a never nude. He cannot get an erection or anything. So
there's dozens of people like Fred.
What's up with these plot holes? I thought is he using it for weird sex shit or not?
Well, I think that's his. I think that's what people think about him, and he probably keeps that up.
I thought that's what Velma was revealing to the audience as the truth.
No, it is the truth, but like I think in order to cover for his shame of not being an adult man yet, like they spread around that the Mystery Machine is used for sex stuff.
It doesn't make sense to me that Fred hasn't gone through puberty yet, considering that his voice sounds like somebody who's gone through puberty. They
should have gotten a younger actor who's not Glenn Howerton if they were going to say that he hasn't gone through puberty yet.
Yeah, where's Nancy Cartwright?
He's also like 6 feet tall in the show. I don't know of any like prepubescent kids who are like 6 feet tall.
I don't know, Kino. This kind of describes you. I think Fred might be your literally me character.
Too close to home. Oh no.
As much as they are really just like making and taking every shot possible at like the straight white guy, like patriarchy shit, the like scenes where he cannot even cut his food, that was the only like chuckle I got out of it, where he's just like cutties.
Where he uses the wrong end of the knife. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
I like that Velma is like openly showing disdain for white men, but then when she sees Fred, she like is overcome with infatuation and lust. Like, why did the fuck?
Very red-pilled.
Why did they put that in there? That is crazy. Like, she is like so anti-straight white man, but she like wants his BWC so bad. It's crazy.
Just think about how it's a show that's like so obviously hates straight white men, and then it portrays. Like, but then the writers portray themselves as being like actually so much worse, because Fred wasn't really hurting anybody. He just didn't want people to see him naked.
Well, Mindy Kaling was also a writer on The Office, and her character was also obsessed with a white man. Like, her whole character just wanting to fuck Ryan. She wrote that shit.
I'm seeing a pattern.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, this is the fetishization of white men by a majority group, aka Indians,
Asian women.
What a global majority. Damn.
Southeast Asian.
The global majority. Us white men are in the minority, and they're fetishizing us.
Yeah, Florian, as a white man, how do you feel to be fetishized by Asian women?
As a passing white man, maybe? I don't know.
Whoa!
Passing?
Yeah, I guess they'll cut my meat.
What?
My steak?
That sounded... saying, I guess they'll cut my meat, makes me think of a scene from Hannibal Holocaust more so than anything else.
God damn it. No cock and torture, please. Come on.
This show has there's a lot of shots of cockroaches having sex for some reason. Does anybody understand that?
I think one of the writers is influenced by the one famous furry, what's his name? The guy that runs like some of those furry conventions whose persona is a cockroach.
It's anatomically incorrect. They don't hump. They just like attach, you know?
Whoa, what the fuck? How do you know this about
Florian looks up how every species of bug mates so that he can criticize cartoons accurately.
I just assume that all beetles mate in the same way.
Yeah, I think Uncle Kage must have been a writer on this.
Stuck together with their butts. They're not humping.
Florian's looking for
you don't think cockroaches fuck doggy style?
No.
What the hell? You think Velma would lie to me?
Cockroach style.
I guess so.
Cockroach style? Yeah.
Solve this mystery.
It's just in this show they just want to like put in fake edgy stuff like sex or cursing or drugs or something like that. Things that they think are edgy wherever they can, but it doesn't come off as edgy because all this shit is like, maybe it was edgy in the 60s. I don't know. Like, maybe it would be edgy if it were released.
Oh, but speaking of edgy...
Daphne has Velma sell a bunch of drugs, and they're all named after the things that Scooby-Doo characters would say when they were scared. Like Zoinks. Yeah.
Jinkies, Mystery Machine.
Jinkies. Yeah.
When you were talking about edgy stuff, Kino, I remembered the one other thing that actually made me laugh out loud. This show has like random gore for no reason all the time, but I really like it. Like Fred accidentally like chops off some kid in the school hallway. Like he chops off his fucking leg. Yeah. And it was like so bloody and I fucking died laughing, to be honest.
I think that kid's voice actor is a cameo by Weird Al.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? I did see him in the cast, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, well, that is now the best part of the episode.
I did like that. That's probably the best part of the 2 episodes. Is just when he...
Yeah.
And then he calls Velma a boy, too. It's also funny. This boy just wants to be our friend.
Frank Welker voices Fred's dad, and I think he voiced Fred at some point.
He might have voiced him in the Cyber Chase movie.
Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, like era. He actually sounds like Fred. So like when he's talking, it's like, oh yeah, this is the kind of character that I know.
Yeah, and then they just have Glenn Howerton, and it sounds like they kind of pitch shift him, but just a tiny bit.
Yeah, not a whole lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as I said, it doesn't really. I don't really believe it when it's like, oh, he hasn't gone through puberty. It just feels like a stupid joke.
Well, that's literally what it is, Kino. It's literally a stupid joke. Let's make some predictions, because there's going to be 6 more episodes. They're doing 2 a week, so we'll have 3 more podcasts coming out about this show, hopefully, unless we all give up. Predictions that I want to make. Number 1, at some point, the 4 mystery gang, whatever the fuck, will be together to solve this mystery, and there will not be a Scooby-Doo at any point. They say, fuck the dog, we're doing a Scooby-Doo remake without even one dog at all. Get fucked.
Wow, that'd be pretty good, yeah.
I'm an opposite prediction. At the end of the season, Norville, I said Shaggy. Norville is going to find a Scooby-Doo puppy, and possibly that puppy dies.
Oh God!
They make you think that was Scooby, and it was another dog. Actually,
you're gonna make it extremely edgy at the end. Literally killing a puppy.
They're gonna kill a puppy each season.
The puppy dies because Norville and Scooby decide to try to get high, but they end up doing fentanyl and.
Oh God!
Oh no! He gets so high that he kneels on the dog's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. That's fucked up, Kino. I don't think that's funny at all. I don't think you should be saying that on my show.
Well, the dog was resisting.
E-Rich, for dog's sake, E-Rich.
For dog's.
Florian, we're hitting about half an hour. That's too much for Velma. Do you have any pressing thoughts or final thoughts on this wonderful cartoon?
Well, this Velma is really annoying, and her jokes are so stupid half the time I don't even realize the jokes, which is why I don't mind them so much. And I'm invested in this mystery. Okay, I just see her as some kind of. She must have some kind of mental disease where she just dribbles on without any purpose.
Yeah, it's called being addicted to Twitter.
Yeah, maybe. I guess so. I guess everything she could put on Twitter. And then she'd get a lot of likes, but it just doesn't make any sense in real life.
Yeah, that's literally Twitter. None of it makes sense in real life.
I guess that's all that mystery.
Here's the thing. It's like Twitter, but it's also like older side of comedian Twitter, where it's like Mindy Kaling defends J.K. Rowling and shit. So it's like she is definitely on the older edge of these comedians.
Mindy Kaling's a TERF?
No way.
Kind of.
Oh, and shit!
So there's
I should invite her to play Hogwarts Legacy with me.
There's even a Let's Play with Kino. There's even a joke where they're like, not be muzzled like comedians before #MeToo in this cartoon. So like, it's not fully quote unquote woke. It's like
I couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic or not.
Did she actually say muzzled?
I don't know.
Because I thought about it again. Was she saying that they're not funny anymore because we know they're all creeps, or are they not funny because they're afraid of saying the wrong thing?
Yeah, they're afraid of trying to make a joke because then they might get canceled for it. I think.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Mindy Kaling gets a pass from me. All right, I think that she's probably pretty all right because of her brother VJ, who is famously known for pretending to be black to get into medical school.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but yeah, he is described as an affirmative action hacktivist who was successfully admitted to the St. Louis University School of Medicine by posing as a black man despite having a pitifully low GPA. And then he wrote a book about it called Almost Black.
Well, yeah, an Indian guy's not going to get a scholarship with that GPA.
Wow, I cringe. That's what you like about her? Okay, great. I'm just invested. Okay, I want to see what happens, and I like that she gets haunted by these horrible specters, and it's I don't know. It could be anyone, and it'll be a nice mystery. I thought you liked mysteries, Mumkey. Is this really so bad that you hated it?
Am I not the one who's defending it the most?
Well, you said it was really bad at the start.
It's genuinely terrible. What do you mean?
Go.
I'm still. I'm still watching it.
I mean, even the people who should, even the people who should, on ideological grounds or whatever, like it, are still trashing it. And I shared with you guys like an article from the Mary Sue right before we did this, where it's so funny that the writer is talking about how they hate the show, but they hate it for all like the opposite reasons that like we would hate the show, I guess. But then they're like mad that the people who don't agree with their politics also hate the show. And then they're saying like they shouldn't hate it for these reasons. They need to hate it for my reasons. And you know that the show is bad when that's the argument, is not that you should like the show. Like, this is a good show, but you guys are just, chuds. It's like, you chuds are hating the show for the wrong reasons. We're hating it for the right reasons.
So yeah, I think politics, if you put the politics of it all aside, I think the most hateable aspect is that every single line of dialogue is just meta, self-referential humor. And I'm wondering, is Dan Harmon to blame? Like, did he start all this years ago with like Community and shit, and now every show thinks that the way to be clever is just to make a reference to yourself and to be meta, and it's just the whole scene in the shower, everything they say,
so bad.
It's like the worst. Like, I can't believe. Can you believe that in the first episode of HBO shows that they show excessive nudity and like they're all naked while talking about this? Like, it's just so terrible. Who could think this is funny? And people wasted their time fucking voice acting this, animating it. Somebody directed this, and nobody stopped to think that it's not funny.
Think about all the animators who had to animate underage girls' butts.
Literally making in what some would consider to be cheese pizza. Like, literally. Like, people got mad at Big Mouth, and they're doing the same shit.
Hey, it's a drawing, guys.
Yeah.
No, well, in Big Mouth, they have like an actual orgy.
No, what?
It's all.
What is this? Stephen King's It?
Yeah. Hey, at least he was on coke when he wrote that. He has an excuse.
It's all kind of gross, but it's gross and then mixed with terrible humor, which just makes it even worse.
Rich, what are your final thoughts, Rich?
This whole thing is like 15 years out of date, basically. Like, this would have been interesting, or like a take on Scooby-Doo about like 15 years, almost 20 years ago. But nowadays, all this shit has been done and parodied, and everybody's made these comments, and there's really nothing new to see here. I would recommend everyone go watch The Venture Brothers, which is an actually good skewering of these kinds of cartoons from that time. The version of Scooby-Doo from there, where Fred is I don't know whether he's like keeping Velma captive in the mystery machine that Scooby-Doo is like a Son of Sam figure that's talking to Shaggy. Like, all of these jokes have been made much better, much more incisive, much quicker. The Scooby-Doo episode of Venture Brothers was like 18 years ago or something, and it did not need an entire show to do that. It did one episode, it got in, got out, it made all those jokes already. So this show is not very good. It's well animated, but that's really all I can say about it. I really wish that the voice actors like Sam Richardson and Glenn Howerton could go and do something else, but they're stuck doing this. So
yeah, Sam Richardson should, go do something else, like try to get Office Christmas Party 2 made.
So they can bring back your character?
Yeah, Sam Richardson was in Office Christmas Party.
Did you appear on screen next to him?
No, but I went to a really weird party at his apartment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about these weird Hollywood parties, Kino.
You don't?
Kino, what are your final thoughts on Velma? We got to wrap this shit up like my dick after I watched Velma, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with basically everything that, everyone said. It feels...
Even Florian?
Well, no, not Florian, but it does...
Wow,
it does feel
exploded again.
like it's woke, sure, but in like a very dated kind of way.
It's like hatefully woke. Like their version of woke is just to tear down who they think is at the top.
Yeah, it's hatefully woke also, but it like I agree with Erich. It also feels dated. It's just like I don't know, it's just a strange mishmash of things that do not, blend. And it just makes for I just watch in confusion of like thinking like
yeah.
who thought this was a good idea? I mean that's the only emotion I think I ever got out of the show was just confusion.
Yeah, confusion is definitely the prime experience of watching this.
But you guys are looking forward to doing this every week,
I'm
right?
Confused.
Hell yeah. Let's get confused every week.
And Weekend Warrior did want to be here, so I think he will be joining us next week.
Sweet.
This will be like the She-Hulk thing where we just get more and more people each.
That's right. Well, boys, you have anything you want to plug? Anybody you want to hug? Any Velmas you want to fug? Erich, go.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at TZARRU. You can come and talk to me about the Venture Brothers movie that should be coming next year, hopefully.
Oh my god, finally, I can't wait. It's gonna be good.
What about you,
You
Florian?
can go by...
Well, check
Ballfrog.
out my YouTube channel. Oh yeah, buy Ballfrog on Steam, everyone.
Is that still on sale?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's a sale every once in a while. I mean, it's cheap as it is anyways.
I need a 20% off sale to buy this $5 game, Florian.
Yeah, please.
My precious dollar.
I feel like a lot of people are still holding out for that 60% discount that probably will come in a year. I don't know.
Is that up to you or is that up to Gabe?
It's up to me.
Oh.
I'm just gonna play it hard, like go 5% lower, like every half a year maybe.
Should we also announce that Florian is canceling his Rick and Morty retrospective series after the news
that
came
true,
out
Florian?
about? He's so upset about Justin Roiland, he does not want to support that monster by admiring his artwork.
Nope, I'm slowly continuing to work on it, but I never planned.
You said
to
you
release
can't
it.
separate the art from the artist. You said you'll never watch a Mel Gibson film again.
I said Mel Gibson was my guilty pleasure. How dare you misrepresent me in such a way?
Oh man.
I don't know. I feel like Justin Roiland isn't actually that important. I mean, he does all the voices, but like I feel like
90% of the character voices on the show, Florian.
yeah. I mean, like they just need to get him to read it while he's in prison. Okay, like he doesn't do the writing because the writing in his other shows is nowhere near as good. So it's probably all up to Dan Harmon. So.
Is there not a way to to balance the scales of, okay, he committed this crime, but he did give us 6 seasons of quality television? Like, does it balance out so that he can be a free man?
And a really good video game, High on
Yeah,
Life.
and Solar Opposites on Hulu. I think that's a really good show. I really like that show.
Well, I really hope that he made that woman do a Morty voice at least.
They can probably just AI generate.
Wait, what was... Erich, what was that text message? Did you post that text message in here from...
I did.
What was that? Justin Roiland? What was he...
Yeah.
What the fuck is this, Erich?
He was going after some woman on Twitter who had done like Rick and Morty parody thing of some kind. He wasn't going after her. I think he was just. This is his way of flirting, I'd assume. Talking about multi-ethnic cocks.
No, this is back in 2015, and this is a Twitter DM. Justin Roiland says, "Can you write a song about 9 dicks with like capital D apostrophe S for some reason, of different sized and ethnic origins hanging above your face, and then in the lyrics describe how they each splatter you with semen?"
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the better way to read this is more like, hey, can you write a song about 9 dicks, different size and ethnic origins?
I'll keep
Hanging
going.
above your face.
We gotta hear the whole thing. Okay, Florian, take over.
Ah, shit, where is it?
You gotta scroll up a little bit. You'll see it.
Okay, here we go. But important, the larger message of the song is about how we're all the same and no more racism. Who is this lead character anyways? Oh jeez, why does she have to find parking? Why are you having a huge... Oh. I'm not reading that.
Florian?
He does say a certain F word in there that Florian refuses to say. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough with this podcast. See you next time, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.